The sky above Seraphis IX shimmered like a dying starfield, fractured by dust storms and broken light. Dr. Elias Crane adjusted his visor as the shuttle's thrusters cooled, the metal hissing against the crimson sand. He had seen dead worlds before, carbonized relics of civilizations long vanished, but this one felt awake. Every gust of wind carried the scent of ozone, and beneath his boots the ground thrummed faintly, like the heartbeat of something sleeping. His scanners detected faint organic signatures, impossible in a place sterilized by radiation centuries ago. He followed the signal, stepping past skeletal trees of black crystal and ruins shaped like twisted vertebrae. The noise came first, a small, sharp sound, half whimper, half growl. He aimed his light toward the shadows and froze. A creature crouched between shards of crystal, its scales glimmering faintly blue, translucent enough to reveal a faint pulse beneath the skin. Its eyes, enormous and bright as twin nebulae, fixed on him. It was no animal he recognized. Its wings were underdeveloped, folded awkwardly, and a faint vapor rose from its nostrils. When it stumbled toward him, Elias instinctively reached for his sidearm, but something in the way it looked at him, fear mixed with fragile trust, made him lower it. He knelt. The creature trembled but didn't flee. When he extended his glove, it pressed its head against his palm, warm and trembling. A faint vibration resonated through his hand, tones, layered frequencies, almost like speech, though not in any human sense. He activated his translator implant. It crackled with interference, then silence. The creature blinked once slowly, and a shimmer of light danced across its body. Then came the whisper. It wasn't sound, not truly. It was in his skull, a thread of alien thought brushing his mind. Hungry, it said, but the voice was not the creature's. He turned sharply, scanning the horizon. Nothing, only static and wind. The creature recoiled, its tail curling protectively. Its scales flared brighter, and for the first time he saw the faint outline of circuitry etched beneath the skin. Something had built this being. Something had left it here. And somewhere through the haze and radio storms, that same whisper lingered again, closer this time, intimate, almost tender, calling his name. The next night the wind carried voices. Not words, not even sounds, but rhythmic pulses buried in the static, patterns too deliberate to be natural. Elias sat beside the small dragon, watching her curled form rise and fall in shallow sleep. Her scales flickered in sync with the radio frequencies that hummed across the canyon walls. Every few seconds, she twitched, releasing a faint chirp that made his instruments vibrate. The readings made no sense: temperature fluctuations, electromagnetic distortions, gravity shifts in a 3-meter radius. It was as if the air itself bent around her, reshaping reality in small, invisible waves. When the pulses grew louder, Elias switched his headset to manual. The sound filled his skull, a chorus of harmonic layers, beautiful and wrong. Somewhere within it, a pattern repeated: eat, consume, join. He tore off the headset. The dragon woke instantly, wings flaring, eyes wide with primal fear. She hissed at the empty night, flames flickering along her throat, then pressed herself against Elias as though shielding him. He whispered softly, trying to calm her, but her trembling only worsened. The sand around them began to glow faintly, dust grains lifting as if gravity had loosened its hold. From the canyon's edge came a shimmer, a distortion like heat haze but filled with shapes, rippling in and out of existence. Elias raised his scanner, but it overloaded immediately. The readings suggested non-local presence, entities existing across overlapping dimensions, brushing the edge of physical space. The whispers surged again, stronger, pressing against his thoughts. Images flooded his mind, vast crystalline networks spanning the void, a collective consciousness feeding on memory and emotion. The little dragon's cry broke the vision. She leapt between him and the light, her small body trembling as she emitted a piercing tone that shattered the silence. The distortions vanished, leaving only dust and silence. Elias fell to his knees, gasping, realizing the truth he'd refused to see. The whispers weren't random. They were searching for her, and now they had found both of them. By dawn, the horizon burned with metallic light. Elias and the little dragon reached the remnants of a structure half buried in ash, its walls carved from translucent crystal, still humming faintly though centuries had passed. It pulsed in response to their presence, as though the ruins themselves recognized her. He brushed away dust to reveal symbols, circles nested within lines of energy conduits, an ancient interface. When he placed his hand against the surface, it warmed instantly. The dragon hissed and pulled at his sleeve, eyes glowing a warning red. She didn't want him to touch it, yet something within called to him, a low resonance whispering through his bones. He activated his neural recorder. The air vibrated with a harmonic rhythm, like the beating of a vast heart beneath the ground. Deep within the chamber, a sphere floated above a pedestal, transparent, yet filled with liquid light that pulsed like a living core. His scanners read it as both organic and synthetic, existing in multiple states at once. The whisper returned, louder now, layered with meaning. Feed, connect, ascend. Elias felt the words pressing against his consciousness, tempting, soft. He reached out involuntarily. The dragon shrieked. Her scales flared brilliant gold as she struck his arm away. A mental image crashed through his mind. Planets devoured, cities reduced to echoing thought, minds consumed by unity. He stumbled back, clutching his skull as the alien sphere surged brighter, its light splitting into countless threads that reached for them. The dragon leapt forward, wrapping her wings around the sphere, not in embrace, but in defiance. Flames burst from her throat, but they didn't burn. They refracted through the air, warping the very structure of space. Then her voice echoed inside his head, clear, young, terrified. "Don't eat it." The words carried more than warning. They carried memory, grief, knowledge. Elias froze, staring at her trembling form, realization dawning in his mind. The whispers weren't voices from the dead. They were the remnants of something alive, something waiting to be freed. And she, this trembling little dragon, was its jailer. Elias barely remembered falling. The floor of the ruin had dissolved into a shimmering field of light, pulling him downward through layers of frozen time. He found himself suspended within a translucent void, the dragon girl beside him, her wings outstretched as luminous threads anchored her body to unseen points in space. Around them floated images, fragments of memory that did not belong to either of them, vast starships drifting in silence, planets hollowed from within, beings made of pure energy whispering in unison. Their voices intertwined, forming the word that had haunted him since arrival, chorus. He tried to speak, but the air was thought itself. The dragon turned to him, her small face solemn. Her eyes shone with golden data streams, revealing not a child but a vessel, an engineered consciousness grown to contain the fragments of an ancient intelligence. Elias saw flashes of laboratories built inside dying suns, scientists weaving souls from plasma and code, binding the chorus inside a living genome. She was their prison, their cage, and she was breaking. The whispers intensified, flooding his mind with seductive promises. They offered to share everything: the history of galaxies, the secret equations that shaped gravity, the power to reverse extinction. His pulse quickened. For a moment he believed them. But then the dragon screamed, a sound that tore through dimensions. The illusions shattered, revealing a pulsing network stretching from her body into the sphere below. The chorus wasn't just speaking, it was feeding. Elias reached for her, feeling the static bite into his nerves. "Let go," he shouted, but her voice pressed into his thoughts like a storm. "If I let go, it escapes." He could feel her fading, consciousness unraveling into the field. He grasped the sphere with both hands and forced his neural implants to overload. The surge of feedback echoed like thunder. The light recoiled, folding in on itself, leaving them gasping on cold stone. The ruins trembled. The chorus was not gone, but now it knew his name. The world outside the ruins had changed. The air shimmered like a lens on fire, and the canyon walls now pulsed faintly, as if veins of light had grown beneath the rock. Elias stumbled forward, clutching the dragon girl to his chest. Her scales no longer glowed. They dimmed to a pale, trembling silver. He could feel the faint hum of her heartbeat, irregular, unstable, as though something vast was struggling inside her. The chorus had not been defeated, only driven deeper into her blood, into the fabric of her being. His visor displayed impossible readings. Atmospheric density rising, gravity shifting by fractions of microunits, energy signatures blooming like suns underground. The chorus was merging with the planet, rewriting it molecule by molecule. Above, the clouds twisted into spirals,